Hello, I am Madeline Frazier from Contemporary Studio 3033, and this is my final project. So for my final project, I was really interested in process painting, which is essentially the idea of sort of letting go and just seeing what happens with your creativity without any really plans or direction. So this was my first attempt at the project. I had a lot of fun making it. It's mostly just spray paint, acrylic ink, and then mixed with acrylic medium. And it looks like an oil mess made by a child. But I had a lot of fun making this. So this was my first attempt. So this was my second attempt, which was also a bigger canvas. I actually enjoyed this one a lot more. I took a lot of what I learned from the last one. So this is a combination of, again, acrylic paint, acrylic medium, spray paint, just anything I could really grab instantly and just chuck on the canvas, I did. And I think it came out kind of emotional, but also it felt a little too vague for me for a sense. And I know this is a painting about letting go, but when I made it, I think I realized I was still clinging to some control. And the entire point of this project and the theme I chose was sort of about letting control. And I think you can sort of see it in the layers rather than it evolving into something that it was. And I realized with this that maybe I was taking the notion of process painting a little too literally. So I decided to again take the concept to a different medium. So here you can see where I took the mentality of freehanding things and like just working freely, one step, and then I went backwards three steps after the previous attempt. So here's an image that I freehanded on a block of linoleum. I didn't end up printing it because I felt that it was too controlled. Even though I did freehand everything, I think I was planning too much as I did it. But I did reverse the image so that you could get an idea of how it would look if I had printed it. So I realized that I was trying too hard to be a perfectionist. I was trying too hard to maintain control. So I sort of shifted where I was going with this project. Instead, I started carrying around a little notepad that had 5x7 sheets of paper. And I carried it around with me everywhere. I went to work with it. I slept with it at my bedside. And I would just let impulse take over me. And I would create the things that I saw, or just random things that happened in my imagination, or if I was bored, I would just do something in it. And so these are sort of the initial images that came out of it. Still lifes, a collage, just freehanding whatever came to mind. And then somewhere, I think maybe subconsciously, I started to develop a theme, and I started making these really emotional impulse works of this decapitated figure. Um, and just oftentimes the body was being ripped apart, or just, I don't really know how to describe it. Things were just sort of happening, and I really liked it. So I did sort of push that, but everything was really free-handed. I never started with a plan. I would just typically start with drawing shoulders, and however that went, I'd realize, oh, it looks like the shoulder's going up or the shoulder's going down. Then from there, it would sort of just be intuited. So these were some of the initial ones. And some of them I included word, and they got really angsty and a little dark at times. These are just some of them. Um, Definitely very strange, I think, very aggressive, which I didn't realize I was feeling, but it became almost like a venting process, um, which it was nice. It was a relief to make these. So here are some honorable mentions. They're not necessarily the best, but I think they're pretty funny. And so I made a lot of these, but these are just to prove that I wasn't deliberately making really angsty art or just overly emotional art. I was sort of just letting things happen, and whatever happened happened on the paper, which I think it really embodies the spirit of process painting, which is essentially just letting creativity happen, letting go of the reins and not being worried about necessarily the skill level with which you're able to make things happen, or trying to be overly perfectionist and accomplish a specific goal. It's all about letting things happen. And it was almost a very therapeutic process for myself. And I think it's something I'm going to keep going for. Not necessarily in all bodies of works, but I think for small scale things, just sort of seeing where things can take them themselves, I think it's very nice and interesting. Alrighty, and here's a brief summary of the work I made for this project. Thank you for watching this video, and thank you for taking the time to listen to me. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.